That's it. And one becomes a mature human being, which is the end product of what the universe had in mind for us Homo sapiens, at least on this planet. Before we take refuge, I'm going to read from the Book of Perfect Clarity, since our class tonight is structured in what we call the matrix of the feminine, the antidote to the masculine, or what happened to the planet today is a patriarchal situation that's embedded in all of our society worldwide, which is counterproductive, to say the least. And this is an instruction on the ground of what's called treksho, which means the abandonment of the idea of an ego or a soul or a supernatural state, all of that. And this one was transmitted by Vajrayogini, and the Lama that received the transmission, his name was Lama Churgir Lingpa. Namo Guru Deva Dakini. Dakini is, in Tibetan, is Tara, or they have many other names for it, but Tara is the main word of the feminine. We take refuge with the master endowed with samaya, which means commitment. We should give worthy disciples this meditation instruction, which is simply the ground of cutting through to the natural state of one's mind. And according to the secret practice of Dzogchen and Mahamudra, this transmission in its simplicity is practiced by first attaining what we call mudra, which means positioning the body and bringing the mind to a place of peace. And let the non-arising nature of your mind, this empty, luminous awareness, which is innate and exists in everything, this primordially pure, spontaneously present, or essence of mind, the simplicity for practice is simply remain in that state of the fourfold resting of your body, speech, and mind, and the number 4 is all of these together in one place, working together. Don't pursue what has passed before, which simply means don't allow your mind to go to past events. Don't invite what hasn't occurred, which means don't allow your mind to project into the future. And don't construct intentionally present thoughts about anything. Sit still and relax. This fourfold resting is simply like a body being like a corpse in a charnel ground, without preferences or fixed arrangement. Rest your voice like a broken water wheel in a state of stillness. Rest your eyes in the nature of the shining light in front of them, which is like a room. And do this if you can without blinking. Simply relax your gaze to 2 feet in front. Rest your mind like a seed, free from waves, quietly in an unfabricated, calm state. In this spontaneously present state of empty, luminous awareness, relax. Let the mind rest, totally free from thought, or not. So for a moment, we'll just do that. In this way, you adopt a state of presence, which simply simply means being in the moment in a relaxed mode. Then we take refuge. In taking refuge, the altruistic motivation, which is unique in Tibetan Buddhism, is simply to voice this motivation that the purpose of these practices is for the benefit of everyone else and, of course, our environment. The refuge itself is simply a support program of the three jewels, which is the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the three roots of Tantra, which is the Lama and the Lama's symbols of peaceful deities and protectors and Dakinis. With this support, then you actually practice based on the 6 Bodhisattva disciplines, which are generosity, morality, patience, perseverance, meditative concentration or focus, and deliberately entertaining the mind's natural state, which is called awareness or wisdom. In this way, you convert your body, speech, and mind, or a better word is to transform your body, speech, and mind into a state of loving kindness and compassion. These two are combined with insight, which means understanding that everything is illusory or an illusion, including your body, and bliss, which is a meditative state of awareness beyond drama mind, beyond judgment. So these three are the end product of the practice which produces what is called Mahamudra, or the mind of bliss. Now we'll start with the refuge, and I'll chant the motivation in Sanskrit, and then we'll chant the Tibetan in Sanskrit and the Bodhisattva's prayer in Sanskrit. Tadam Jowa Namke Tadam Yampe Senchen Tamche Dudine Junde Jisi Jenju Neko Lachi Kibardi. Then we chant the refuge prayer. Ade Mama Dhamma Mama Chatsu Chiyo Nidam Chakur Gilatso Nama Chatsu Chiyo Sanje Chom Dende Nama Chatsu Chiyo Dante Chur Nama Chatsu Chiyo Ate Gendu Nama Chatsu Chiyo Kawo Kango Chokyung Sume Sho Yeshe Ki Shinda Denpa Nama Chatsu Chiyo Sanjay Shodan Shakti Shonama Janchu Bargun Dagi Chatsu Chiyo Kagi Jinzo Jikpe Sonam Kiyoma Enter Sanjay Ruparto. The altruistic motivation in English simply states that in order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and living sentient beings, our mothers, which is everyone, all the animals, humans, and spirit, we now take refuge and, when possible, offer prostration. Then we say the refuge prayer in English. We go for refuge to all the glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all the items of the deities gathered in our mandala. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who conquered mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all of this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of Dharma. All of these possessing the eye of transcending awareness. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this supreme assembly we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through merit gained from practicing the 6 bodhisattva perfections, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. So as many times or sessions as you practice during the day, you want to chant that the bodhisattva prayer, that your purpose is taking refuge with the 6 refuges, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Lama, Deity, and Protector, in order to bring the 6 kinds of sentient beings to full maturity or Buddhahood. So you start your practice with that. Then, if possible, you do your purification practice of bodhicitta, make mandala offerings, and start Guru Yoga. This is the whole essence of Tibetan Buddhist shamanistic practice. And it is called the wish fulfilling jewel, and I can attest to that because I'm still here. And my prayers have been answered. I'm happy and I have no regrets. And I know what, I don't know what comes first, the next life or the next breath. So I keep that in mind. And it's kind of interesting that today in our paper, our local paper here on Fly, it had in big letters across the top of the page of the newspaper, "Today I'm going to die." That was the headline. And I go, wow, I just said that. And that's pretty good. They've got the first of the 4 thoughts that turn the mind to Dharma. That's the second thought, actually. The first thought is you have a pressure to use existence and you should use it to alleviate the pain and suffering of others, take care of your environment, and help to bring people to understand their true nature. And that's it. That's why bodhisattvas take birth on planet. That's all. It's not karmic. It's not an emotional thing. You're just doing it because it's the only game in town. And it works. And it produces this, which is beyond happiness. And you must understand that happiness has an opposite called sadness. So watch out for happiness. Don't fixate on it. Now we're going to start the practice tonight of meditation with the air element. Here we have the earth element, the water element, the fire element, which is a pyramid-shaped head, and the air element, which is a half sphere. The mother element of all these is the space element, which is this symbol. Now, why is this 5-element practice so important? Well, first of all, it's the basis of all the tribe survival for the last million years. It's the 5 elements make everything, If you have anything in your mind, that's the 5 elements. If you have anything outside around you that you're sensing, that's the 5 elements. And so they're universal. They're primordial, is the word they use. But for us, they're the basis of healing. And healing is the whole program of Tibetan Buddhism. It's not about going to some divine or supernatural existence, which for us is counterproductive. I'll just put it. So tonight we're going to use this half sphere of green light. This is a symbol we use, very simple. And to connect to that, we're going to start with what is called the 3 lights prana yoga practice, which is the breath as an energy program that is what the elements exist for, which is what are these purposes besides creating a universe? It's for us to be healthy, alive and well in whatever situation we find ourselves. So we sit with the back straight to start with, head slightly tilted, hands on the knees or in the lap. This is all called mudra. Mouth closed, tongue resting against the palate, and the eyes half open with the soft gaze to the light 2 feet in front. The space and light right here. Then you simply bring your awareness, your focus, to your breath. As you inhale, you imagine the energy of the air element, which possesses all 5 elements, coming into your lungs as white light. Then you move to the absorption breath, which is a spontaneous activity of the body to pass the energy of the elements to every cell in your body, and you visualize that energy as red light flashing through your entire body. Then you bring these two together and exhale out the result, which is a healing, powerful breath of blue light to space, which is where everybody exists. Inhale white light, fill your lungs. Absorption breath, red light through the body, visualize. Both together out the nose is blue light to space. Then, with the accomplishment of this breath, you will feel calm. You will start to move yourself into a state of what they call peace and tranquility. At the same time, because of your focus and your visualization on the breath, you're removing your connection to the worldly activities of the day and becoming what we call centered or present. Taking your focus off the breath, bring the code of the 3 colored lights, the white and the red and the blue, all together into your heart center and merge them together as a tiny diamond or particle, similar to an atom. In this way, you're connecting to the dimension of the totality of the energy of life throughout boundless space. And without any meditation, you simply relax in that dimension, contemplating space. And renewing your visualization of the particle in your heart center, which creates what we call a bindu, or an energy chakra center. Imagine the spark to grow to a small sphere of clear light. Entering into this 3-dimensional world in that way, enlarge the sphere with your imagination till it assumes the symbolic shape of the air element, which is a half sphere of green light, like a bowl with a lid, and label it air. Its size should be about the size of a small grape or marble, and they say no bigger than your thumbnail. With your imagination and focus working together, Visualize it to move out in front of your body and up before your eyes, 2 feet in front. Then with your imagination, expand it in size until it creates a tent or room large enough, still using this half-sphere symbol, visualizing your body sitting inside, just as you are. Receiving the full psychic healing energy of your mind into your situation. Keeping focus and imagination together, we're going to share this symbol by expanding it in size to completely enclose this island of quiet and surrounding ocean. If you're watching this meditation, include the town or city or a large area of where you are inside this half sphere of green light. The next step is to expand it in size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere of air. Next, expand it in size to completely enclose our solar system, which encompasses billions of miles in diameter. Then expand it to completely enclose our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. Then move beyond the boundaries of your conceptual mind and merge it with the totality of space, which has no center or circumference. And without meditating, simply contemplate space. It actually helps you to feel the liberation from the confines of the natural world. Then from that position or state, again, with your imagination, create the half sphere of green light to enclose the galaxy. Then shrink it in size to just enclosing the solar system. Keeping the discipline of your mind, reduce it in size to just enclosing Mother Earth. Smaller and smaller to just enclosing this island of quiet, or the area where you live. Then bring all of that energy program into the half sphere of green light, with enclosing just your form, your body, just as you are. the totality of the life force of the universe, concentrated into your situation. Then return it to its original small size in front of your eyes, 2 feet out. See it with your imaginary eye, and if possible, your true worldly eye. Bring it to chest level into your heart chakra. Reduce it in size to a small sphere of clear light. And finally, to the original tigri, we call a bindu in Tibetan, the particle, which connects to the infinite particles of light throughout space. Relax and stay present, contemplating space. To finish, simply bring your awareness to in front of your eyes, expand it into your area of practice. And as Lama Rinchen says, drink tea, talk nice. We do these mind training programs in Tibetan Buddhism, which are without number, although they say there's 84,000 applications or methods to compensate for the 84,000 emotional afflictions that we suffer from, which cause us immense pain and suffering, physically, mentally, emotionally, and of course, spiritually. But the aspect of consciousness is simply an awareness program. And we all have this awareness. Some don't want to acknowledge that they do, but you cannot exist in the human condition without awareness. If you're in that state, you're medically dead. So awareness is what? Awareness is conceptual. It's all conceptual. That's why we say this whole universe that each one of us is creating independently by our thought program, our conceptual mind, is illusory, is an illusion. And because of that, everything that appears or that you're aware of is integrated into you. And of course, what is Tibetan Buddhism all about is being responsible for that. And in a word, that's called shamanism. And it's how the human race has survived up until recent history, what we call this age of distraction or the industrial age. And this distraction thing is increasing. You know, the ultimate mind is your own mind. We call it your natural mind. The distraction is the conceptual mind, not aware of this other nature of the mind. And so in this program tonight, for instance, this 5 elements practice or the 3 lights meditation, which some people think, oh, that's just a simple practice is actually one of the most powerful practices of Tibetan Buddhism, is to bring the conceptual mind together with the body. Because, as Prajnaparamita says, this Dakini symbol of the Buddha, the feminine Buddha, his form is emptiness, emptiness is form, which simply means the mental process and the physical process can't be separate. And as long as you're in a body, that's true. But even when you leave the body, you recreate conceptually these mental forms. And then what makes the program unworkable or counterproductive is at the moment that that happens, you recreate emotionally where that new mental body is. And then that's what we call the spirit world. Or in some cases, you recreate it karmically back on a planet as an animal or a human. And there's no beginning or end to this process, like it or not like it. And so everything we do is conceptual. So what did we say about thoughts? Well, we don't need the thought. That's incomprehensible. You don't need your thoughts. Well, what is awareness if it's not your thought? Space. The mother of all the elements is space. Earth, water, fire, air can kill you. Earth, water, fire, and air is what keeps you healthy. So we integrate those conceptually according to that universal format. It's kind of like algorithms, yeah. Do for a computer. So we're doing the same thing. This is a computer. And what we want to do is reprogram it. See? And not only that, we're all top heavy. You know, this thing that's going on up here, we think we identify that. We fixate on it. And we create an ego, and then we create from the ego, we create these conceptual states of religions. Even Buddhism does this. And it's counterproductive. Because they're impermanent. I mean, how long can you hold a thought in your head? Everything is impermanent. And so this simplicity of this program is, since the body and the mental process can't be separate, you can simply very slowly start to slow the mind down to the point where it will accept the present as a state of spatial awareness. And in that way, you're out of the drama field, which is so painful. Then you find out you don't need to think. That's where this idea of the wish fulfilling jewel comes in, which works, because here we are. We wish that. And luckily out here is a shared program, so we're all wishing it together, so we get to do this. Then you find out the mind doesn't exist. So you throw that away. All this mind training program, everything that's behind me is all about mind training. Tara, Chandriji, the idea of Buddha, which means simple. A mature human being that knows everything is integrated. That's this Buddha. Buddha of unity. Aksobhaya. This is all mind training. Then you find out you don't need a mind. Well, what? What else is there? Yeah, you just heard it, didn't you? Hi, the real self. You know, hi, I'm here, I'm back. That's what That's what Yanti Rinpoche, this, I've known this kid since this guy since he was a kid. So here's my former root lama, Kala Rinpoche, which is notorious as a meditation teacher. You know, he's called Shangpa Kagyu. And then, of course, he died. And he happened to do this while I was in a 40-month retreat. My last month of retreat, he died. And what am I doing in the retreat? It's called the Deathless Yoga. And they come to my room and tell me, hey, your root lama died. Yeah, well, that's what I know. I'm doing the Deathless Yoga. Big deal. So then up pops Kala Yanti Rinpoche. Yanti means I'm back. At least the kid knew he was back. So I just went to Santa Fe, New Mexico, to the Shangpa Kagyu Monlam, and all the lamas of North and South America and other places came to Santa Fe, and he was there. Now he's 31, and I can tell you he's back. He's really a lot of what he was before, which is cool because he's giving us good advice, you know, like I'm passing it on to you. This is all hearsay, you know. So once the mind is gone, once the thought process stops, and you can entertain the mind in space, then you find out the ego doesn't exist. You find out all this conceptual religious stuff is a bunch of hocus pocus. And you dump that. And then you start to abandon the mind itself into what? 3 categories. And they're called vehicles. They're called kaya. The Dharmakaya is what you are in union with the natural world. It means an all-pervasive state of everything that exists or doesn't exist. Is and is not. Good. Then out of that pops this energy program, which is all this. This is all called the Sambhogakaya, which means the bliss energy field of how you tame and train us humans who are nuts, in a word. You've gone crazy. You know, 8 billion of us running around and looking at every kind of screen you can imagine, this screen included, instead of their own inner screen, the heart mind of loving kindness and compassion, which is the same principle as your mother brought you into the world, which you should have. Kindness and concern for you and the well-being of everybody and the environment. That's it. And then you don't need anything. You just sit back. It's the lazy man woman's way out. It's like, cool, ultimate cool. That's bliss. No fixating on happiness, therefore sadness can arise. No fixating on judgment, which means that's good and that's bad and that's high and that's low and this is the middle and that's the outside. Endlessly. You don't need to do that. And that's what the Buddha told everybody 2,600 years ago for these Hindus. So here we are, 2,600 years later. Same program, same problems, only now there's 8 billion. So we go to the next level. Now this is very nice, these 5 elements. They work, you know. And it's kind of like, how do the American Indians do it? How do the Hawaiians do it? How do the Chinese do it? You know, they worked with it. And they had intuitive awareness. The women have intuitive awareness. The guys, you know, they're power mongers. So you listen to the woman. Listen to your mother. And she's interested in your well-being, and she knows this works, this doesn't work. How does she know that? She didn't go to college. She didn't hear some lama. She just knows. That's ultimate awareness. That's the natural mind. That's actually beyond the mind. Natural mind and worldly mind are the same mind. But if you get more into your natural mind, you don't need the worldly mind. Because you know everything. You're omniscient. You know, this is a term that they address with God and Goddess in their religion. Omniscient. Also, because you're already all pervasive with your mind, you're omniscient and omnipresent, which means you're everything. And you put those two together and you get the third one, which is power itself, which means omnipotent. You can do anything. As long as you don't harm yourself, others, and the environment. The big three. How cool is that? So, to accomplish this fast tracking, we have the Sambhogakaya, which extends from the Dharmakaya, the all-pervasive nature of mind. So, to train us critters, humans, we have the Sambhogakaya, which is based on energy and the bliss of the energy program. With all these symbols. This is where the mandala comes in. And when that gets going really good, because we have all these distractions and major problems solved, then the Nirmanakaya appears, which is guys and girls taking birth on planet from light, not from karma, not from neediness. They're just here because we have big problems. We're facing extinction and the whole planet's on fire. No big deal. It's just the way it's turning out. So we do the Tara. Now when we do Tara, it is the 5 elements, but as a female energy form that you embed in your body. So you imagine this body, which is illusory, because it's just made of atoms, no matter how you want to think about it. And you take this Tara complete with compassion, power, and insight already in place, because you've been doing these practices with the 3 lights and the elements and the Chenrezig and all these what we call preliminary practices and so forth. You've been doing it. And Guru Yoga, because it's all Guru. You're the Guru. This is your Guru. So sit with your back straight. Breathe. And start again with the 3 lights practice, which is how this Sambhogakaya energy program of the 100 deities, male and female deities, is transmitted to tame the mind of human beings on the level of ultimate awareness. In other words, nothing higher, or better, nothing beyond it. And the word nothing is Mahamudra. And if you know you're nothing, my teacher, Gala Rinpoche, the original Gala Rinpoche, says, at that point, you know you're everything, which is wonderful. Breathe. Inhale white light, fill your lungs. Now we enter the energy field of clarity, which is the vibratory sound of Om, Sanskrit, Om. The red light flashing through your body is the bliss energy program of the entire universe, and the vibratory sound at that point is Ah. A-H, Ah. Then you work these 2 together and exhale blue light out your nose, and the energy program of complete causal healing for everybody, including the environment, is Hung, H-U-N-G or H-U-N. Inhale white light, here, Om. Absorption of energy through the body, red light visualized flashing through all, your all. Bring these two sounds and color codes together and exhale out the nose, blue light, boom. The wrathful power of your universal natural mind. Breathe. Then visualize a llama in front of you. Dalai Lama, Meru Lama, Kala Rinpoche. Female llamas, there's many of them. We have many here in Hawaii. Rishis, Wammo on the Big Island for one. Georgiana Cook on Maui, and so forth. They're everywhere. The Ru Lama is the essence of the lineage of all the lamas that go back 2,600 years, India to Tibet, Mongolia, all the Himalayan countries, now everywhere on the planet. That one lama is a representation of your natural mind lama of intuitive awareness, which we visualize in the heart. From the three places of the lama in front, the representation of the totality of this shamanistic tradition. White light comes from the head of that teacher into your head as a transmission of you to use the bliss energy body of the deity Tara. Red light comes from the throat of the Lama to use the compassion sound we call the heart mantra. Of this applied not only to you, but to every being in the universe, out of loving kindness and compassion and concern for their well-being. You see that come into your throat. This gives the power to the mantra when you sound it with your voice. And then from the heart of the Lama in front of you, blue light comes into your heart chakra, blasting the wisdom insight of how everything really is or is not. Boom. Then the Lama's three lights you see simultaneously shining. White into your head, red into your throat, flowing into your heart. Then you receive the fourth empowerment of the mind transmission of the Lama blending into you, like water into water. Then the three lights now embedded inside the central channel of your life force, with the white light in the center of your head. Boom. The red light blazing in your throat, and the blue light in your heart center sphere of energy. Boom. Then you simply bring these three lights all together in the heart chakra. So the Om moves down the central channel of your life force into the red sphere. Those two spheres of energy together down the central channel move into the Om. As this takes place, they transform, the Om transforms into the seed cell Tom. Now Tom is a five-colored light sphere of energy. Inside is this symbol, which looks like the letter 5 with a dot over it, or a sun and moon is the way the Tibetans draw it. And it is inside this five-colored sphere, which represents not only the five elements as symptomatic healing, which can apply to any healing energy program, but also causal healing because it treats the emotional base, the judgment, which is totally conflicted, toxic. So this 5-element symbol also includes how do you apply this Tom into 5 states of universal awareness that already exist in you and in the natural world around you. And that's the 5 Tars, and we're going to do that practice now. So you focus on the Tom in your heart and see yourself as the air element green Tara, which is over my left shoulder. She's sitting there. Visualize her aura as green. And the seed cell in your heart center, the Tom, is all the sounds and all the mantras that we use in one sound. It is also the sound of the 5 elements, all 5 in one sound. And then you become this hologram of the Bodhisattva Tara, complete with the compassion, power, and insight of a mature human being, Bodhisattva. The ultimate mother principle in the human condition. In no way supernatural, but at the same time, all pervasive. And by doing all pervasive means now you're going to project that to the mother that created your body. And she is going to appear as the Tara in front, a mirror image of the one hologram symbol you're using on yourself. Then you're going to project it to your father and all your relatives, friends, lovers, everybody you have karma associated with, enemies, people that hate you, the whole human race of Tara, 8 billion Tara in your mandala. Then you expand it to include all the animals in the ocean, on the land, infinite in number. You start to fill your mind with Taras, expanding out in space like you did the elemental meditation. Then you include all the spirits in the entire universe. There isn't anywhere in this universe you can go where consciousness does not exist. The spirits fill our world, including your body and this planet. With this mandala in place, the heart mantra is created of compassion, power, and insight for these infinite sentient beings as Tara. And you think whatever sound arises, and you sound with your voice, they're doing the same thing. And the mantra that you sound is Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re Soha 10 toes. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. And you visualize this starting with the sound Om in front of the tongue, and then around, clockwise around the Tara. Tara Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. These souls all standing like this, the same way the Tom appears. All of it inside the 5-colored sphere. You as Tara, everybody is Tara, doing the same thing you are, is the practice. Any part of this that you can visualize, even in the tiniest way, accomplishes the practice. Om Tara Tutare, Ture Soha. 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 Om Jaya Jaya 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 This mantra is 10-syllable mantra around the tongue is facing inward, and all the letters are blazing energy through your holographic form, and the tongue also, and all of that blasts out through your light body to space and spewing energy, and everyone in your mandala, infinite mother sentient being, as Tara, doing exactly the same thing you are. That's the practice. Om Jaya 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 Soha. Om Jaya Jaya Soha. Om Jaya Jaya Soha. Om Jaya Jaya Soha. Om Jaya Tara's mantra completely counteract all toxic judgment of your mind, all the anger, all the envy, all the pride, all the attachment or desire, all of the ignorance, bewilderment, stupidity, fear, anxiety, depression, all the thousands of conflicting emotions that you've bred into your mind over thousands of lifetimes, creating all of these subliminal tendencies that are coming up in this lifetime. This is the practice of the power, compassion, and insight of Tara, plus the remedy for all physical, mental, and emotional toxic situations. This is the antidote. Causal and applied symptomatically. Both cut the root and cut the symptom. And when you do that, you can add the elemental power of the universe to it with the seed cell of Yang, which is the universal sound of gas, air. And Ah, which is the sound of energy itself, which is the whole Bodhisattva program of creating auspicious circumstances in order that others can come to maturity. Symbolically, as taught. Om Jare Tu Jare Tu Yang Ah So Om Jare Tu Jare Tu Yang Ah So Om Jare Tu Jare Tu Yang Ah So Jare Tu Jare Tu Yang Ah So Om 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 Jare Tu Jare Tu Yang Ah. You got this chart. This is what you're doing. The Yam's on one side, the Ah's on the other. They blend together, hold them up to the light. So we're adding those two sounds. They're explained on this chart. If you don't have this chart, it's on the website. But this is the power that you are projecting with your compassion and loving kindness mind for everyone. All the animals, all the humans, and all the spirits in the entire universe as this Bodhisattva deity symbol. Om Jare Tu Jare Tu Yang So 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 Dhyana to Dhyana to Dhyana 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 so Dhyana to Dhyana so Dhyana to 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 Dhyana Dhyana so Dhyana to Dhyana to Dhyana so Dhyana to Dhyana to Dhyana so Then we invoke the Tara of the earth element. And the earth element practiced with the six-sided sphere is yellow and gold. And that's a symptomatic application for healing, but this is a universal application as an antidote to your emotional afflictions, which you carry from life to life. The tendencies of these is your karmic predicament. And each of us have this predicament, these tendencies. They're subliminal. They come up at the most inopportune time. So this mantra, this visualization is to deal with that. The yellow Tara is to deal with the worst of human afflictions, which is on this planet today at all levels of society, religious, corporate, military, ignorance breeding arrogance, religion, arrogance, pride, aggrandizement. You need to be adored as a god or goddess. How ridiculous. So the antidote to pride and arrogance on all levels, human or spiritual, is visualizing the seed cell palm together with the sound Trom, which is equality, equanimity, and Long, the sound of the earth, energy healing, both causal and symptomatic. So you add these to the mantra, you visualize your sound, your rainbow body as gold Tara, and all of the beings in your mandala, gold Tara. And the mantra goes like Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Lam Tram So Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Jam 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 So Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Ram Jam So Om Tara Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Ram Jam So Tara Tu Tara Ram Jam So Om 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 Tara Tu Tara Ram So Om Tara Tu Tara Ram Jam So Om Tara Tu Tara Ram Jam So Om Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Om 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 Jari Jari Jiri Jam Jam Om Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Om Jari Jari Jiri Jam Jam Om Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Om Jari Jiri Om Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Om Jari Jiri Om Jam Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Om Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Om Jari Om Jam Jam Jari Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Jari Jiri Om Jam Jari Jiri Om Jam Jam Jari Jiri So in this way you purify your own Buddha field, which is your mind projecting this universe as a Buddha field, and Tara is to purify all the negative tendencies and all of the conflicting emotions which are so toxic and cause physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual pain and suffering. And let that ride off into the spatial aspect of your own natural mind, applied to everyone and the environment. Having purified these two energy fields, the energy field of jealousy with the yam, and the energy field of the arrogance and pride, and Tron. Now we're going to purify the attachment energy field with red tar and the Sito Ram, and the energy field of discerning awareness that your natural mind is boxed and needs to replace your drama mind with Kree. So we add these two sounds. Ram, which is the elemental energy of fire or radiation, which is what you're doing with your rainbow body as Tara, and applying that illusory sound to everything in the universe is just being a light show, and everything appears because of this fire energy raw. The free is to purify your attachment, which escalates into, we say, desire, lust, and in some cases, extreme greed, never fulfilled, never enough. Om Jari Jari Jiri Ram Ri Soha. 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 Jari Ram Ri Soha. Jari Jari Jiri Ram Ri Soha. Jari Ram Ri Soha. Jari Jari Jiri Ram Ri Soha. Jari Jari Ram Ri Soha. Jari Jari Jiri Ram Ri Soha. Jari Jari Jiri Ram Ri Soha. Jari Jari Jiri Ram Ri Soha. Jari Ram Ri Soha. Jari Jari Jiri Ram Ri Soha. Jari Ram Ram So lotus family tar is red. Now we're going to go to the blue tar, the antidote to anger, using the water element, which is the nature of the body, mostly water, and the planet. And so now your blue Tara and the Sita of Mom and Poon have overlaid the Tom, and all the beings in your mandala are blue Tara, infinite in number, applied to infinite sentient beings, your mother. And you can be dark blue, black, or any color blue you like. But this is a very wrathful Tara, antidote to anger. Having covered these 4 dimensions of emotional confliction energies and using earth, water, fire, air Tara, now we use the mother Tara of space, white Tara, which deals with ignorance, stupidity, bewilderment, delusion, all of these grandiose ideas of the self or soul. And without fixating on this illusory body symbol of Tara, we sound their mantra of the white Tara, Yam, Om. Excuse me, Bam, Om. Bam, the space, Om is the energy field of complete clarity and bliss, with compassion and loving kindness for all beings, and understanding how and why you do this. Om Dara Du Dara Du Om Om
Savam Om Jaya Jaya Savam Om Savam 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 Om
So everybody is this wisdom Tara filling space, filling your mind. And all the energy, the space energy applied to all your mental concepts. They are nothing whatsoever, yet they exist. They are totally illusory. They arise from space, they appear in space in your mind, and they disappear back into space. This is the antidote to all fear, anxiety, depression. Then all the Taras filling space, appearing simultaneously red, white, blue, green, gold, or yellow. All these infinite Taras as your infinite mother sentient being, all dissolve into you as the central Tara. In you, the symbol of wisdom, compassion, power, the antidote to all emotional affliction, and to cause good health on the level of the root causes, cut the root, egocentric mind, subject, object, dichotomy, cut. This is structural. In its place, spatial awareness. So you dissolve your central symbol into the seed cell Tom in your heart center with the mantra. All the mantra, all the vibratory energy, all the illusory nature of the universe and the beings in it. And that together with the 5-color sphere expands to space, to boundless space. Simply rest in the moment without meditating. without any judgment. Thoughts arise without fixating, without attaching to them. Sensual perceptions of the body don't judge, don't connect, don't block, relax. In infinite timeless awareness. The second part of the practice where you disappear the entire practice. It's called the accomplishment phase of tantric practice. So that you do not fixate on the mandala, the mantra, the method, the advice, none of it. It's only to transform your mind to the state of Mahamudra, a mind of bliss. And the easiest way to understand it is in this state of consciousness of your natural mind, there is no judgment. There's no good, there's no bad. No high, no low. It's called a state of equanimity. Applied through practice, it's called Dzogchen, the mind of bliss, beyond drama, beyond neediness. Abandon fear. It's wasted energy. Anxiety and depression, all of these emotional conflicting energy programs that you think are so necessary. This program is for good health. The first phase of the practice is called the creation phase of the deity. It is applied to spiritual, what we call peaceful deities or pure land deities, male and female, based on Tara and Chenrezig. The charnel ground deities are for the protector deities, and these are used for healing in special applications where you have extreme abuse of self, others, or the environment, which is what's going on, the human condition on this planet today. And these require special empowerment practices by the Lama and special methods. But in their entirety, they all work the same. And in the Medicine Buddha practice, there are 8 applications. The 5 applications that we use tonight, plus 3 more for the body, speech, and mind of the individual, with Manjushri, Chenrezig, and Vajrapani, and their consort. Those 8 are all, and all of these practices that we present are based on the Medicine Buddha mandala for causal and symptomatic healing methods applied to any modality that one finds useful in the human condition to heal illness and disease. Attacks by humans, animals, or spirit. All of that. And so Tara, in her mantra, means she swiftly accomplishes the antidote to any toxic situation. And Soha means that is applied equally to everyone, every sentient being, universally. One of the practices, spiritual practices, is dedicating the merit of the practice. So after you've done the preliminary practice, taken refuge and so forth, done prostrations, purification with Vajrasattva, offered mandalas or torma, and done your Guru Yoga, connecting to the lineage and your teachers, then at the end of the practice, You acknowledge the teacher's virtuous activity as supreme and request the teacher to stay in this world and not to pass into states of nirvanic bliss, but turn the wheel of the Dharma to the benefit of all of them. And in dedicating the merit, I'm going to read this thought that Kala Rinpoche gave us, called the 8 Thoughts of the Great Bodhisattva. By the power of the truth of the great compassion of the excellent objects of refuge, along with deities and protectors, and by the power of this virtue of merit and pure altruistic application, may I completely remove the misery and pain and suffering of all living beings who fill the sky. By the perfect virtue of this world and of the states of nirvanic bliss, may the hopes and desires of all these beings be fulfilled according to their wishes, and I add, to their appropriate wishes. May my own body, flesh, blood, and skin, and so forth appropriately benefit all living beings, and the miseries of all my mothers, all these beings come upon me, and may all my happiness and virtue be realized by them. For as long as I remain in this world, may there never arise for even an instant the thought of harming others or the environment. For the sake of living beings, may I energetically exert myself, not slacking for even an instant. We'll do the dedication prayer at the bottom of the refuge sheet. Ewa di durdu da, chaga chapo du irne, gowa chimping malu ba, dehi sala, koparsha, sanje kusha nenpai jimla dam, joni meru nenpai jimla dam, kendu niche dunpai jimla ki, chita homo homo tu or so. By this virtue of having realized Mahamudra, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception in this state. By the blessings of the 3 bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of us, the Sangha, being unwavering, may this and all dedication prayers be fulfilled. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity. And may all their wishes be fulfilled. May all beings be happy, free of suffering, established in bliss and equanimity. And we say in Tibetan, Tuchi Che, thank you. Mahalo in Hawaiian. Mil gracias. And I was going to Japanese.
Thank you, Lamatashi.